like my first Halloween outfit was Minnie Mouse. Like, so literally I was born, that's how I got into Disney. Like it was just there. my mom just went full, like, straight Mickey Mouse. But for some weird reason, she just can't accept this part of my life now. And I'm just like, you did this.
You got this on yourself, Mom!
Like, and it just, like, from then on, you know, there was Jasmine outfits for Halloween. After that, Belle outfits for Halloween. We went to Disney World for a whole week, and she made me my own little Minnie Mouse hat with my name on it. That was bright yellow, so that way, you know, if somebody started kidnapping me, she could chase me because I was wearing a bright yellow hat. So it just went from there.
Danielle?
So I got into Disney when I was little too. Ever since I was 2 years old, my parents have taken me to the theme parks at least once or twice a year. I would always watch the movies when I was younger, and as I grew up, the love for Disney just grew. And in February of 2014, I applied for the Disney College program, got accepted, and then went down there to work in the fall of 2014. And you can imagine how much going to the parks every day and working for such a good company would intensify your love, and I've been growing with it ever since too.
I know that the first film I ever saw in theaters was the re-release of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs when they put it back out in theaters. I think it was in 1987. So I was 3, and I still remember that. My parents were apparently those obnoxious people that brought a 3-year-old to a movie to just upset everyone, but I was actually silent because I never watched the whole thing. And then we went to the park for the first time ever in '91. Hollywood Studios had just opened. Back then it was MGM Studios, and it had nothing in it. Because they rushed that park to open it because Universal just opened down the road. So Michael Eisner was like, "We need new parks!" Forget the fact that it's not done. It's just open now. So I remember that. We had big ugly yellow ponchos, rain ponchos, that we all had because it rained the entire time we were there. Thank you very much, Orlando weather. Yeah, from that point on, God, we stayed at the Grand Floridian because we went with rich relatives, and they paid for the most expensive resort there. And so then from that point on, I've been obsessed with the parks and everything like that. So yeah, that's our backstories, I guess. I talked about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Of course, Disney. A lot of Disney's start came from animation. You guys have a favorite, I guess, film?
I can give you a top 10.
A top 10.
And
So get out paper and pencil. There will be a quiz later. If you fail, you don't leave. You're stuck in here for the podcast recording that happens at 1.
which we will also take over because
Yeah.
that's what will just happen. And this top 10 isn't necessarily by what I think is best. This top 10 is by, like, sector. Simply.
Sector?
Yeah, like classic Disney,
Okay.
Renaissance, you know, such and such, as it goes. Just simply because I can't pick a favorite, which is weird. My
Just love them all so much.
I just do. So precious. But my favorite princess film, and it's just because it's the first one I saw, because it's the first one I ever received. It was my first Christmas present. Is Beauty and the Beast, because it came out the year I was born. Just to.
Oh man, I am old.
Yeah, just to add insult to injury.
Saw that one in
Hunter.
years.
It came out in 1991. Yeah, same year Hunter went to Disney for the first time. Is like I said, Beauty and the Beast. She's my favorite princess. She's the reason why I have an English degree and therefore work in a call center. That's a joke.
It's not really, because the job market sucks.
Yeah, it is.
Don't major in English.
Yeah, don't major in something worthwhile.
Go to a vocational school. Do that instead.
That's my.
Because your dreams don't pay the bills.
They don't. So that's number 1 favorite princess movie. Number 2 favorite Pixar movie is now Inside Out. It was Brave, but then Inside Out came out and ripped my heart out and threw
It's
it.
a rude movie, right?
Yeah.
Right? We can all agree that that's just a rude movie. Like, it was like, again, it's a very good movie, but it's just like, oh, well, thanks for making me cry in front of strangers.
Yeah.
Like, multiple times. They just became jerks. Can we talk about how Pixar's jerks?
Yeah. You know, you go in there with so much hope and so much happiness, and then you leave with just tears.
Angst and anxiety.
I know, right?
Not kidding, Mom.
Yeah, that's where my heart went. It went right down there with him. Like, that's where it is.
Moved away into non-existence.
So it was Brave. I still, like, it's right there. Like, this is Inside Out. Right here's Brave. Like, they're almost right there together. Because I love Merida so much. She reminds me so much of myself. And I just love her so much. And this is rambling. This isn't even a top 10 list anymore. This is just like, these are movies I love.
Let's just start at the beginning and go all the way through each one of them.
I'm just going to name off Disney movies.
Final Fantasy 3 was not very good. However, I did like The Legend of Ichabod Crane and Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
No, and it was really cool that those came on a 2-disc Blu-ray in 2015.
Fun fact, one time I played Badger on stage in Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. It was a play that we did when I was at Radford.
The Wind in the Willows?
Yeah, I did The Wind in the Willows, and I played Badger. Which,
Danielle, you'll get to talk eventually, I swear. Yeah,
we're going to put a pause on your favorite movies, and we're going to talk about Danielle.
You just want to jump in here and just say which one you like?
If you need to, just karate chop either of us. And just chime in. I'm not moderating well. Favorite Disney movie, go!
Well, that's like trying to make me pick my favorite child, but since I already know I'm going to be a terrible parent, I can do that.
Yeah.
My favorite is Cinderella. I always loved Cinderella, loved meeting her in the parks, and that was the VHS tape when I was born in '94, if that makes you feel any older than what you already are.
Makes me feel old.
So, you know, I had all the VHS tapes because DVDs didn't exist, but I would just wear that tape out. I would start the movie, it would be over, we'd rewind it, and I would start it again. So Cinderella's always been one of my favorites, but Sleeping Beauty is a close second, primarily because of Maleficent, and she's my favorite villain.
Obviously.
Yeah, and I'm actually Disney bounding as Maleficent today, so I've got a black, almost a 50s style dress, and then I've got purple jewelry to coordinate and show some of her coloring.
We'll probably talk about that here in a bit.
Yeah, we're going to touch on Disney bounding in just a second. I am going to be a shit parent, a terrible parent too, because my favorite Disney movie is Lilo and Stitch. Because all of it. That one's gotten more feely as I've gotten older. Like, I remember watching it and just being like, that's a funny movie. And like the most recent watching I had, because I watch it a couple times a year, I was like, man, that's terrible. They're just destroying this family. She's doing the best she can. She is like 18 years old, trying to she wasn't ready for this. God, Disney, quit being jerks.
You just don't pick up on things in Disney movies whenever you're a kid, and then you watch them whenever you're older, and you're just like, oh my god.
I can't say I was a kid. I was 18.
Yeah.
When I watched
You
it
should
for the first time.
I was young. I didn't pick up on stuff.
Look at the blue alien. He threw a bucket. Bing rings. It was, and then I rewatched it, and I was like, oh, that's terrible. This family's being destroyed. For no real reason whatsoever. Like, it was, you had one day to find a job. You didn't find a job. Now your family is destroyed forever.
Months to find
Yeah.
jobs. Like,
Not in Hawaii, it doesn't.
no.
There's only 7 jobs you can have. Apparently. Okay, yeah, you all mentioned Disney bounding. Which one of you wants to explain what Disney bounding is to people that don't already know? Who here doesn't know what Disney bounding is? Okay, yeah. So who wants to jump in? Yeah, we'll let you.
Okay.
Since you'll be like, I'll give you the top 10 definitions of Disney bounding.
I was gonna say, I'll do it since I've been doing it the longest, but okay.
Oh, whatever.
Well, Disney bounding, it kind of carries your love into the real world and still into the parks. You can coordinate actual clothing to dress similar to how your favorite characters would dress if they were in street clothes. And it also makes it socially acceptable to, dress like a villain every day and still go to work and school and people not look at you like you're crazy for rolling in, with like raised cheekbones and Maleficent horns and carrying around the staff. This obviously flies a bit better in the real world. You know, as with her, she's going as Peter Pan. I don't think people would take too well to essentially wearing a green morph suit with no face. But a lot of people do it in the parks because now full-scale adult costumes are no longer allowed due to safety reasons. So this is the most that adults can do. So it's a good way for adults to carry on into the parks and express themselves that way.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk more about it?
How did you get into Disney?
Well, I got into Disney bounding just simply because of Leslie Kay's blog on Tumblr, Disney Bound, which just started because she was wanting to go to parks, and she was just like, what would these characters wear if they were going to be traveling or going to school or whatever. And I just happened to come across a post on there, and I was like, this is neat. What is this? So I just clicked on her blog, and I stayed up till like 5 o'clock in the morning, which most people do on Tumblr anyway, and looked through her entire blog history, and I was like, I can do this. So I went in my closet, and I had a polka dotted dress. I was like, Minnie Mouse. I have a big giant bow headband. I can do that together, and I just did it the next day, and I've been doing it ever since. And that was whenever I went to school here. I haven't been to school here in 3 years, so I've been doing it for a while now. I mean, I will every once in a while have a Disney week where I just challenge myself to do a different Disney outfit every single day that week.
Yeah, you've been doing that this week.
Yeah.
Do you want to touch on some of the ones that you've done this week?
Yeah, this week I started out with an Adventureland Disney Bound, where I just Disney bounded as just the entire section of Adventureland in the Magic Kingdom. I had a Dole Whip themed shirt where it was just a pineapple covered shirt. I had an elephant bracelet for the Jungle Cruise. I had a pirate themed bracelet, which I meant to wear today, and it's in my purse, and I just realized that for Pirates of the Caribbean. And I just had like tribal print pants on for just the whole theme of it. Tuesday, I wish I had my phone, but my boyfriend has it because he's filming this, because he's a good friend. You follow me on Instagram, don't you? I think so.
No.
I just got very upset very quick. I'm trying to remember who I did Tuesday. I can't remember.
I forgot that this building sucks for internet.
It's a concrete building built in the 70s. They weren't expecting internet to exist.
Half the people here
Oh,
probably still don't
okay.
think the internet's real, so.
Tuesday, I did the Haunted Mansion. So I had like a Haunted Mansion Gracie Family Reunion t-shirt. That was really cool. Found it on clearance on the Disney Store's website. And then I did my makeup just really dark with green eyeliner and just purple and darker red colors on the face. No, Tuesday I did the genie. Sorry. Wednesday was the Haunted Mansion. Tuesday was the genie from Aladdin because he's totally rad and everybody loves the genie, right? That's his huge problem was. Yeah, even if you don't love the genie, like you have to kind of appreciate him, you know? Like,
Look, if you don't love the get out!
yeah, if you don't love the genie, just leave.
You can't have that sort of negativity in the room.
Like, I mean, Aladdin was kind of a jerk. Like, Genie was the best character in that movie. Just my opinion. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. You're wrong, but that's fine.
You are entitled to your incorrect opinion.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion. That's okay. Thursday, I did Disney Bound as Merida, so that was cool. And then yesterday, I Disney Bounded as Jack Sparrow, because he's totally awesome. And then today's Peter Pan.
I guess the easiest way to describe Disney Bound would be cosplay for every day. So if you like a favorite, like I don't get to cosplay usually because I'm usually covering conventions for the website that I write for. So I'll be at Comic-Con and it's always like, I want to do something neat and I can't. So I just put on this hat and a white button-up shirt and my white shoes and like a light colored shorts, and I Disney Bounded as Baymax. And so it was like people would see me and know who I was, but I didn't have to put on a big giant inflatable suit and walk around and try to interview people, because that would have been a little more awkward than I usually am. So it's a fun way to be able to represent characters without alienating everyone.
Yeah.
Because you can't work at Taco Bell with big giant horns on all the time, or
And-
tentacles
Yeah.
if you're going as Ursula.
And another thing I'm going to interject there, Disney does own Marvel and Lucasfilm now. So you can Disney bound as the Avengers. You can Disney bound as Han Solo, which I do on a regular basis. Because we're gonna forget December happened for a second. He's the best character in the original trilogy. So I Disney bound as Han Solo regularly. Black vest, white shirt, blue jeans. Boom, you're done. He's there. You're Han Solo.
Deal.
Boom.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Since we're wearing some of the stuff, I feel like we'll touch on that. The hat, the shirt, her beanie, the necklace.
Yeah, the necklace.
No.
Get it together. There's a company called Who's It's and What's It's that produce a lot of very good Disney themed clothing that would be considered Disney bound friendly. It takes the idea of some of these things that you see in Disney bounding and makes the shirts like this one here, the Ramon shirt. That got, yeah, that give them a show, guys. The punk rock. They did a whole punk rock series based on films. They have an AC/DC shirt that's actually a Hercules shirt. They have a Who shirt that's a Robin Hood shirt. So they do things like that so that it makes it easier to represent Disney as an adult without wearing like those big awful shirts. Remember those shirts in the 90s that had like Goofy busting through, and then on the back it had like Goofy's ass on the other side, which is like a terrifying shirt that like Goofy's impaled you, and he's like ha 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 ha. But like they offer better shirts to wear as an adult to represent your love for a fandom versus being impaled by Goofy.
And then they just have pretty jewelry on there too.
Yes.
Like their jewelry is very pretty. I have a few necklaces. They have like a Tomorrowland necklace. I have their pieces, their Aztec gold necklace from Pirates of the Caribbean, where it's actually like a piece of Aztec gold from Pirates of the Caribbean. Wore that yesterday. And then I have a few other things. I have that shirt, but in the girls' cut, which is like a tank top. So for summertime and or wintertime, I don't judge.
Maybe you don't have nerd issues.
Yeah, maybe you don't.
Anyway.
I don't judge.
Site's run by a girl named Tiffany Mink. Friends with her. You can listen to her story on an episode of my podcast called Please Be My Friend. It's available on iTunes, so you want to look it up. But she has a very interesting story. She used to work for bands. She was a part of the Warped Tour. She was a pit reporter forever. She's actually from this area. She grew up in Bristol. And now she's on a thing called Thingamavlogs. I don't know if you guys know anything about that or not. Yeah. But she's on Thingamavlogs, and she works with Disney now. She's been to Pixar a couple times. So it's just to show that, like, if you're a nerd, somehow you can make it work, but not with an English degree. Don't do that.
Unless you start doing things like this, and then maybe it'll work.
Still,
It could. Dreams come true.
Gotta have a dream.
That's Disney's whole thing.
Yeah.
Dreams come true.
The parks also were a big part of the Disney story, I guess, and you worked at the parks.
I did.
What was that experience like?
It was a fantastic experience. Like I said, I worked in the college program in 2014. I was accepted into merchandise, so I was originally stationed at the Boardwalk Resort, but because their computer systems are the same, I was able to pick up shifts anywhere I wanted. And the most memorable thing there, I picked up a shift in the Emporium in the Magic Kingdom, and I got to watch the 3 o'clock parade as that was going by, and I got to interact with people from all over the world on a daily basis. And not only did I get to do that, but I had a lot of networking opportunities, and I got to go to the parks for free.
Yeah.
So nothing really beats that, and I went to the parks 3 to 4 days out of the week.
Yeah, I'm friends with a bunch of people that work down there now, and it's obnoxious actually to be friends with him on Facebook because it's like, well, I'm at the Magic Kingdom again today, and I'm like, it's raining ice today, so eat a dick. That's pretty much how that goes. But if you work there, you get to go to the parks for free, so that's the neat thing. And what was it like to do the college program? Because you did that, you got to work there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was like, you did say that, right? I'm not making that up. Because you got to go to Disney for credit, right?
No.
It didn't transfer?
No.
Yeah.
Still worth it.
Yeah.
I took a semester off from school and I moved into an apartment with 5 almost complete strangers. We had talked over like Google Hangout and whatnot, but I'd never actually met any of them. So that was a new experience moving into a 3-bedroom, 6-person apartment. It was a little crowded, but I got to meet a ton of people that were, everybody that came to the college program, they were just happy, they loved Disney, they wanted to be there, and I got to network, meet some people, kind of get my foot in the door to get my big kid job, and one day I will be the CEO of the company, so look for me. So that was the start of that.
And you'll be able to say, saw her back when I and Chelsea just talked over her the whole time. She's gonna remember that, and we're screwed. We will never have a job at Disney. I feel like I won't have a job at Disney anyway. I say too many F words for me to get a job. I don't know, I might be able to voice an animated brat, because Patton Oswalt says some F words. But, yeah, favorite park memory?
Oh gosh. Mine probably, I mean, the first time I went to the parks I was 5. The last time I went I was 9. It's been a hot minute. So my favorite probably was though whenever I was 5, they took our stuff up to the room from whenever we checked in. And I had my teddy bear with me. And whenever we walked up, they had him tucked into the bed. Like he'd been up there just taking a nap, just hanging out. And I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. I don't know why, but from the second you get to Disney, and look, my face is lighting up like I'm still 5 years old. But like the second you get to Disney, they just make sure every single thing is magic for you. Like, and no matter if you're 5 or you're 55, you're going to have a great time. It's going to be magical. You're not going to care if like it rains or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I've watched your Drunk Disney thing on
What?
YouTube. Where you bring
Yeah.
around the world.
I sure did do that.
Yeah, you did. Like you're not gonna care. Everything is magical. I mean, you asked favorite park memory. I can vividly remember, and then this was 20 years ago. Almost every single day from whenever I was 5 years old. Whenever I went, it was beautiful.
Oh man.
Go.
I have
Speak, CEO, speak!
I have a lot of memories from the parks, but one of my favorites was when I was younger. We were getting off of the Pirates of the Caribbean, and if you've ever been on it, there's an escalator type deal as you get off the boat and you're going back into the gift shop, which every ride you get off of, there's a gift shop within like 6 inches of you, if you're not already just going to walk straight through one. So as we're going up there, I see these pirates just standing at the top of the escalator, and they did a thing back then, and every day they would award a kid a Pirate of the Day, and they randomly decided to choose me. So they gave me a little certificate saying that I was Pirate of the Day. They gave me a hat, and I still have those in my room. But that was one of my favorite memories as a child, and then as an adult, my favorite memories are going to the Halloween parties each year, nerding out, dressing up, meeting rare characters, and getting a butt ton of candy. Yes.
That is the scientific term. I try to go at least a couple times a year. But she was talking about it. I drank around, because the parks, people will view Disney as just a thing for kids. The parks are built in a way that, unless it's the Magic Kingdom, and you're an adult and you go, you're pretty much going to have a good time anyway, especially at Epcot. Epcot's not even really made for kids. It's made for adults. And I know this because I drank around the world, because they have the World Showcase, where they've got 12 countries, and all those countries serve alcohol, and I did a pub crawl. And crawl is the key word. There's a video of it online where I filmed the whole thing. And I started in Mexico at La Cava del Tequila. It's a tequila bar. It translates into tequila cave. So I started my pub crawl with 3 shots of tequila, like a genius that I am. And so then I meandered my way around to Canada. You can watch the video. I do about 4 or 5 shots in about 30 minutes. And then it starts raining. And so I have to sit while the rain is happening. While that is happening, all those alcohols just detonate in my stomach like a bomb. And there's a cut in the video because I got drunk and met Jasmine and Aladdin, and they did not think it was funny. I was standing in line. I was standing in line to meet Jasmine and Aladdin, and they're standing in front of this big giant mural, and the mural has hidden Mickeys in it. And I walk, and we've been in line, and other people were in line. It was rainy, so like other people were getting wet, and so I was just like, I walked up, I was like, hit Mickey, and Jasmine was like, oh, there's actually 2 more, and I was like, let's just take the picture. There's people waiting, and like, I didn't mean for it to come across like that, but like I was trying to be nice, but drunk brain sounds like an asshole all the time. So then I got my picture made with Jasmine and Aladdin, and like Aladdin was just like, and I was like, hey man, I'm gonna date your chick. And I've got my beer, which in Morocco was called Casa beer, kind of like Casablanca, but it was just a beer. They tried to fancy it up with a neat name. But so I've got my beer, and I'm like, they were like, you can't have that in the picture. I was like, you're probably right. So I set my beer down, get the picture taken, and then like finish my beer and then go to France, this next country. And I realized that I forgot to film anything in Morocco. I didn't film any of that. So then the camera turns on again after 2 countries, and it's me in France with a glass of wine, and it's like, hey everybody! Because I'm in Japan. In Japan, I shoot the thing, and I'm like, hey, it's raining, da 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 da. It's a beautiful day, and then I drink this nice sake, and I drink my sake, and then it cuts to the next country, and it's like, hey everybody, I'm in France! It's like, I don't think I'm going to make it. I'm drinking wine. It's a Chardonnay. I don't like dry wine. And then I went to the UK, and then my phone died. And I thought it was going to be a cool idea if I was in the UK to speak with an Irish accent, which I can kind of do when I'm sober. You know. I was a wrestler for 3 years, and my character was Hunter O'Malley. He was Irish. He would muck about and cause havoc and shit. So I, drunk as balls, moseyed into the UK, where they're actually from there, and this gorgeous Irish girl was pouring my beer, and I was like, oh, you're from Ireland. I can do an Irish accent. It's like utterly offensive thing that could have happened. I might as well have asked for her Lucky Charms. And she was God love her, she was adorable because you have to be. You can't just be like, you suck, sir. She was like, no, you did pretty good. And I was like, thank you. And so then I was like, I met a lovely lass. She did an Irish accent. She was nice and told me it didn't suck. And then my phone died in Canada. Which Canada's where all things go to die. It's a weird country to have there. I just want to say that it's like Mexico and Norway and then there's Canada. I don't know, but yeah, that was a fun experience. I spent half of it drinking by myself, which is sad. I've realized, but you know what? I was in the happiest place on earth, so bite me. The saddest day in Disney is still better than the happiest day not at Disney.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, I feel like that would be probably one of my favorite Disney memories, and it's on video. So if you guys want to go on YouTube and look up Drinking Around the World, my YouTube page is YouTube/The Hunter Show, and you can find
hunter.com/YouTube.
hunter.com/YouTube/WikiLeak.net. It's a .net because that was already taken on .com. I don't know. GoDaddy's a bitch. Stop. I should probably stop. Everything. Just stop everything. What's your favorite ride in the parks?
Again, I haven't been since I was 9 years old.
If you say It's a Small World, get out!
It will never be. It's a
Yeah.
small world. I mean, I love Disney so much, obviously, or I wouldn't be up here. But it will never be. It's a small world. There's so many things I can tolerate from Disney. I cannot tolerate
It's a
that
Small
song.
World is a battle of attrition. It's like if you've heard the worst song ever, imagine being stuck on a very slow boat while a bunch of tiny animatronic demons sing at you. That is It's a Small World. It's a bunch of animatronics that are about this big from a bunch of different countries just screaming, "It's a small world, girl!" And you're trapped on a boat. You can't escape the boat.
My sister did once, though. Judging by that look, I need to tell a story. My little sister goes here. Some of you may know her. It's a very big school, so some of you may not. Her name is Emily. Her name is Emily Lyons. Well, compared to some places in Johnson City, it's a very large place.
The McDonald's, I guess.
But some of you may know her. But we've been on It's a Small World about 12 times during my first Disney trip because my brother and sister were too. There's only so many things 2-year-olds can ride. And so we rode that one several times. My little sister decided she was going to abandon ship because that's how bad this ride is. And she jumped off of it. And she jumped off. My mother thankfully did grab her and pulled her back onto it. But yeah, you can get off of it.
Yeah, that's the beginning to the movie Tomorrowland. Actually, that really is what happened. They get in the It's a Small World ride at the park, and it sucks so bad that you get beamed to the future. If you voluntarily get on It's a Small World after all, they're like, you must be a genius or something. I don't know. Let's get him out of here.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that toddlers and 5-year-olds can tolerate. They can't tolerate It's a Small World. That's how bad this ride is. But my favorite one is probably the Jungle Cruise. I love the Jungle Cruise, and it's mostly because puns.
Puns are. Ooh. Yeah.
That's the only reason why I really like that ride as much as I do.
The dregs of humanity.
Except on the Jungle Cruise, they're great.
Yeah, well, they're supposed to be there.
They're lovely. That's the job I want to do at Disney. I want to be a Jungle Cruise guy, just so I can say those puns every single day.
He'll get the point in the end. That's.
I'm not even on the ride. It's so funny.
Yeah. Danielle, favorite ride?
My favorite ride is the Haunted Mansion. I've ridden it more times than I can count, and I can actually quote it from the moment you walk into the first room where the portrait changes to the skeleton. I can quote everything word for word as the ride's going along. But to go back to the Small World thing, I feel like I had to mention this. One of my last weeks in my program.
You're about to say It's a Small World.
No. That's actually my Nana's favorite ride. So I was like, well, since I'm about to come home, I'll get on it and I'll send her pictures. Worst mistake of my life. So you get into this room towards the end where they're all wearing white and it's a huge room. It's all the kids from all the countries and whatnot. I get stuck. Yeah, no, I'm stuck listening to that song for half an hour. I went home. I just went to my apartment, and I was a little traumatized after that. I have not gotten on that ride since, and I will never do that again. That's the worst ride
The only
to
thing you
ever
can
get
do is
stuck
just
on.
like get in your bathtub, like that scene in Ace Ventura when he finds out that Einhorn's a man. And just like burn all your clothes and just get in the shower,
Yeah.
chew lots of gum. It's as small as garbage.
I'm sure it was cool in the '60s, like whenever it was first at the World's Fair, like because they'd never seen
Yeah.
really much of anything like it before. But that's where it should have stayed. It should have stayed at the World's Fair, been an exhibit for that one time, and it should have just stayed there and never left.
Now it's iconic for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
It looks pretty, yeah, except for the animatronics.
Creepy
But the
demons.
colors are pretty. The colors are nice. I like the colors.
I'm convinced the small world is going to be what purgatory is like.
Not even purgatory. That's straight up what hell's going to be like.
I would have to believe.
That's not even what purgatory's going to be like. That's just straight up what hell's going to be. It's going to be writing "It's a Small World" for the rest of eternity.
It's like in Supernatural, where hell is just waiting in line, but hell is like, oh, we're done with the ride. Yeah, it's a small world. God, no.
Yeah, you're going to think you're about to get off of it. Nope.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
mean
It's,
to get drunk in Epcot.
that's exactly what it's going to be. It's just going to be that for the rest of eternity.
Why?
It's going to be awful.
Yeah, and Heaven is Tower of Terror. That's my favorite ride. Just for
Heaven's Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, heaven is puns. No, that's hell too. If you could somehow add puns into It's a Small World after all.
Every once in a while.
Repent now, sinners.
Every once in a while, it'll be that rhino.
Yeah.
Like, it'll
Just
just be
point
like,
in the end. Ah!
yeah, yeah. Except for me, I'll just be like, yes, it's the best.
I'm a big fan of Twilight Zone's Tower of Terror. Let's see, where are we at right now? 20 minutes. So we're going to do this. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
I have plenty of things I want to talk about.
Do they involve puns?
I have a few
Yeah, we're
less
not
things.
gonna
I
talk
have a few less things I want to talk.
6 things that I can talk about now. Okay, so here's what we're going to do, and we're going to see if this leads to anything. Does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask or talk? Oh, yeah!
Okay, all of y'all's favorite Disney song and Disney character.
Disney song and Disney character. We're going to start with Chelsea. 1, not 10. We're not going to do like, well, this is my favorite adventure. I don't know why you're like a 1920s grandma.
Okay, well, my favorite song is actually "Part of Your World" from Little Mermaid. You're adorable, by the way. Every time I mention Little Mermaid, you're just like, oh.
You know, I was on my way back to the panel, and I was like, I feel like I should be like, hey, there's a Disney panel, but I was like, I feel like she also probably knows.
But that is my favorite song. It's "Part of Your World." I actually have the soundtrack on vinyl, like, and it's a decorative vinyl. It's very pretty.
Sounds just better quality.
I just saw how pretty it was, and I was like, yes, look at this stuff, isn't it neat? But and then my favorite character is Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit. This guy, he's beautiful. And that's just simply because he disappeared, and then Disney got the rights back from Universal, and then they made Epic Mickey, which looked cool, and then it was terrible. And I was very disappointed. But I played through the whole thing anyway, and then I still got the second one. Haven't played it yet, but I have high hopes.
So playing Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, I mean,
super cool this game with all these Disney characters.
I had.
God damn it, Tom, do something!
But the third one's coming out, and I have high hopes for it too. I'm so hopeful for anything that Disney ever puts out. And then if it's bad, I'm just like, but the next one will probably be fantastic. They'll learn from their mistakes. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
So, favorite character, pretty torn between Cinderella and Maleficent. Cinderella for obvious reasons. You know, she's the princess that every little girl wants to grow up and be just like. But Maleficent, she's just a good villain. You know, most villains, you look at Hades, he wants to be the ruler of,
James Woods.
yeah, well, yeah, that too. Ursula is mad at Triton. She wants to rule the sea. And then here's Maleficent. She is angry and puts a curse on a kid because she doesn't get invited to a party. That's just a good villain right there. She just has so much
That's a
pent-up rage.
bitch.
Like, all that rage just comes out because she didn't get invited to a party. And then she
And we've
turns
all been
into a
there, right?
dragon. Yeah. So, favorite song? Oh no. That's, and I just, I hate Frozen now. I really do. Like, working in the parks when the movie was just starting to explode. I'm so sick of Frozen. It makes me want to cry every time I see Anna or Elsa or Olaf. But I still really love Let It Go. I really do. Like, I can just belt out that song in the car and never get tired of it. And be
I
okay
can
with
too. Doesn't mean that I should, but I can. I want to say belt. Raspily ruin. I can raspily ruin Let It Go.
I've seen your Snapchats.
Yeah, they are a dream. Stitch. Stitch is my favorite character. Also, I love villains, but I think we all do, in one shape or another.
Except for Cruella, nobody really likes her.
Hey, you know what? Okay, this is a fun story that I can tell about my dad. So, I had this. I love this story. We were a part of the Disney Movie Club for a while, and we got 101 Dalmatians. And I have a niece and 2 nephews, and they were at the house, and Dad put in 101 Dalmatians just to keep them quiet, like you do with kids. And so they're watching the movie, and the kids are enthralled in it, and Dad's just sitting there, just doesn't care about the movie at all. And then I leave, and I come back, and the kids are gone. The movie's still playing, and Dad's just sitting there watching it. And I was like, the kids are gone. You can turn the movie off. And he goes, oh, hell, now I'm invested. Which is even funny if you know my dad at all. But I just thought that was funny that that's one of those things that Disney can do. He was just like, I put it on to keep the kids quiet, but now I'm into it. So that, yeah, I think my dad's a fan of Cruella de Vil.
Well, I mean, you can be you can. This is my thing about Cruella. You can like the movie, and you can think that she is a good villain. You cannot like her as a human being.
Yeah, she's with dogs.
Yeah, all she wants to do is kill puppies. I mean, who wants to do that? I mean,
Glenn Close, that's who.
well, she doesn't really
Twice.
want to do that in real life.
Do you know? Do you know Glenn Close?
She seems like a nice person. She
Yeah.
was Nova Prime. I mean, you can't be Nova Prime in Guardians of the Galaxy and want to kill puppies.
Also,
That's just my
Walt
logic.
Disney.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
love Stitch. Let's see, favorite song. It's got to be a villain song. There's no way that it can't be. Be Prepared is good. Love Be Prepared. Also love Oogie's song. Oogie's song from Nightmare Before Christmas. Also love Oogie. To go with a weird one, Hellfire from Hunchback of Notre Dame. God, that is a up movie for kids to watch. Just the super rapey, and very, like the song, he even has a line where it's like, she will be mine or she will burn. That's in a kids movie again, and really weird movie. It's super good. Big fan of Hunchback of Notre Dame. So yeah, I would say Hellfire. I think Hellfire might actually be my favorite. Either that or After Today from a Goofy movie. That's the good one.
2 very different songs.
Yeah. I don't know. Put you in a good mood. Any other questions?
What's your favorite ride or attraction that was removed? Like, what do you
Oh, I
miss
know
the
mine.
most?
Oh, I know mine. Do you guys have yours already? Because I know mine. Mine is the one, and it sucks because they replaced it with a Stitch ride, but the Stitch ride's garbage. It's the extra terrestrial that used to be at the Magic Kingdom in Tomorrowland, and it was bonkers. Like it's terrible. It's the most terrifying thing I've ever been on as far as theme parks go. You are trapped in this room, and they're working up teleport technology, and they beam in. You're supposed to beam in somebody, and then they mess up, and they beam in this giant cockroach monster from another planet. And the thing busts out of the cage that it's being contained into, and then like runs around the room and murders people. and then blood drips on you. This was in Disney, and it was the best thing ever. And then immediately they got rid of it because they realized that someone got murdered in the ride. And they were like, maybe we shouldn't have kids in this because it's right next to Buzz Lightyear's ride. So they kept the room and everything, but instead of the big giant cockroach creature, it's Stitch. Stitch is the big thing, and Stitch like spits on you and hawks a loogie at you now and farts or burps on you. And it's so frustrating because that's the only Stitch ride in the parks, which is, again, my favorite character, and that's the one thing. Like, he got his attraction, but it stole one of my favorite attractions ever to be there. So, yeah, extraterrestrial. Alien Encounter, I think is the full name of it, or something like that. Yeah, that was my favorite they got rid of.
I'm gonna skip over me because I'm still thinking, because all of these are back from 1996. So,
My little heart was shattered when they closed down the Maelstrom, which is in Norway and Epcot. I was so sad.
Maelstrom sucks.
it does. Yes, it
That
did.
was
It
my
creepy.
favorite
That's why
ride
you
in
hate
Epcot.
Frozen.
Yes, that's part of the reason why. And it closed down when I was on my college program. And I
I thought you were
remember
about to say while you were on it. I was like,
No.
while I was on it.
No, like their final day was while I was down there. I worked that morning, and I actually worked at the resort that is conjoined, or it's right beside of Epcot. So I just hopped right on over, and I remember there was such a long line because everybody wanted to be there for the last day. And I remember as we were getting in line, the girl came over the intercom to do the safety spiel and then finished it up. And for the last time, welcome to Norway, or welcome to the Maelstrom. And I was like, no, I hated that. I was so sad. I loved that ride, and then they closed it down to put something
Frozen. Here's the thing, though, about Maelstrom. It's like, get your fast pass for Maelstrom, sit in a boat, then watch a documentary about Norway for 15 minutes. That's really what it is.
But it's really popular.
I don't know.
I don't understand why it's popular, because I mean, like I said, last time I read it, 1996, but I was 5, didn't care for it. My dad, however, was 28 and absolutely hated it. He was just like, can we go back to MGM so I can ride Tower of Terror 10 more times? He absolutely hated it.
It needed to be renovated, but
It needed to have been renovated whenever it was built, and by that I mean never built.
But, not to shit on your favorite rider. Yeah.
Anyway, mine's probably, and this is gonna sound weird because it's still open out at Disneyland, but probably Mr. Toad, because it's no longer in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a Winnie the Pooh ride, which I'm also not too mad about because Winnie the Pooh. But at the same time, Mr. Toad, it's like for a second Disney forgot that they made that movie, and they're
There's a
just
lot
like,
of
yeah,
movies.
let's take it out.
Here's what's super weird. Like, they have that movie that they don't really pay attention to. Ichabod Crane, which is, again, that was in the same
Yeah.
time period where we just put 2 movies together to
Yeah.
fill up space. But, and then they have Splash Mountain, which is based off a Song of the South, which they do not acknowledge.
No.
It's banned
Because
in the
it's
United
super
States.
racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they got a ride
But
based
that's
on
a
it,
ride, so
and you can
everybody's-
barely get on it.
So then everybody's like, what's this movie with this bunny and this bear and this wolf? We don't talk about that movie. Just shut up and ride the log flume.
And we ain't gonna mention Uncle Rico
Yeah.
either.
No.
That,
It is. If
What's
you-
a brer? We don't talk about it.
If you could find that movie, I recommend you watching it because
It's on YouTube in its entirety. I've seen it 3 times. For paper, by the way. It's not because I necessarily enjoy it. It was for paper.
the world was different in the 60s.
Yeah.
Just good old-fashioned family racism.
Watch Peter Pan.
It is. I watched Song of the South, and and then when you watch it, it makes sense, but they definitely say the phrase tar baby like 10 times.
yeah.
It's because they made a baby out of tar, but they say tar baby 10 times, and I'm like, come on! But now it has a ride, but Mr. Toad does not anymore.
Yeah, they do at Disneyland.
Didn't you go to hell in that ride?
Yes.
Yeah, you went to
Yes.
hell in that ride.
Yes.
You went to It's
Yeah.
a Small World after all, right in the middle of it. And it was hot. That room was hot too. Like,
Yeah.
that was tough to do to kids.
Yeah.
Um,
But they still have it at Disneyland. I mean, because I was going to say Toontown, But they still have Toontown out at Disneyland too,
Mhm.
and it's actually cooler because it's got a Roger Rabbit ride.
Oh,
Like Disney World never had a Roger Rabbit ride.
They used to have a big, Hollywood Studios used to have a big giant. You know how they'll have, when a movie will come out, they have the thing, the room with all the stuff in it?
Yeah.
Like when Pirates of the Caribbean come out, they have that thing, and Prince Caspian or whatever crap. They had that for Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and this was when I went when I was a kid. They had the big giant warehouse where the finale
They
takes
still have
place.
some stuff left over from it.
With the big giant steamroller, and the whole thing was set up, and that's a movie they should pay more attention to.
That
That
movie's
movie's
fantastic.
awesome. They just gave that movie an Oscar. It's an Oscar for special achievement in film because they didn't know what to give it an Oscar for. They were like, "Hey, y'all made a great movie. Here's an Oscar for it. We don't know what to call it, so here." That's cool.
They still have some stuff left over though from that. Like you can just look, and there's just things randomly spread here and about. And there's even like a little area left over from where the steamroller was,
Mhm.
like where people used to lay down and act like they were getting rolled over from the
There was a
steamroller.
picture of me getting run over by a steamroller
Yeah.
on an old Kodak camera that you take it and then like.
Listen to Grandpa Hunter tell his
Yeah.
tell his tale.
They had to line up some gunpowder and like somebody threw a tarp over their head and it was me, and I had to stay perfectly still for 20 minutes. Yeah, photography was different in my day. Now you're filming this with something that makes phone calls too, every once in a while. Who actually uses their phone as a phone? Boo! Did we answer your question? Okay, I was trying to make sure we did. Anybody, any other? One? Yeah, we have
Yeah,
one
okay.
more, knowing the way that we
Oh,
answer
okay.
questions.
We got two. You know what? We can
We'll
go
make it
over.
fast. We'll make
we
it
can
fast.
go over a little bit. Let's take
There's
both.
nothing here for
Okay.
an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, favorite underrated Disney movie?
My friend Roger Rabbit.
I would say that it is a Disney movie, but it's not because it's also
Yeah.
got Warner Brothers characters in it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that,
Yeah, it's half.
Okay, then my second favorite is probably Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
Ooh,
Yeah.
man, that's a good movie.
Movie's so good. Yeah.
Man, that's a good movie.
That's mine. Do you have?
You know what sucks? The sequel to Atlantis.
Yeah.
The sequel to Atlantis is one of the most terrible movies I've ever seen.
It really is. But you know what also sucks? 90% of Disney sequels.
That is also.
Yeah. Cars 2, awful. But that was a Pixar sequel. But technically both.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna build an entire movie around Larry the Cable Guy.
Let's build an entire sequel around Mater being a
Yeah.
spy. That sounds like a great idea.
Here's the thing, guys. We got Michael Caine to be in this movie. Great actor, Michael Caine. We're gonna give most of the screen time to Larry the Cable Guy.
Because that's what the kids want.
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite's The Black Cauldron.
That's a good one too, yes.
I didn't care for the Black Cauldron.
We don't care for you, Hunter.
I'm allowed to have opinions.
Even if they're wrong, yes,
Yeah.
you are.
I didn't care for it. And that's I hate the aristocrats, or the Aristocats. Ooh, I hate the Aristocats. Ooh, I hate it. Because that butler definitely has a beef. He took care of that woman her entire life, and then she gave all of her damn money to her cats. I would kill the cats too. That's rude. That guy worked his entire life for that woman. She was like, "Thank you for your service, but I'm gonna give this to things that don't have souls."
One of my Disney bounds is Duchess from the Aristocats.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thomas O'Malley, the Alley Cat. His favorite underrated. Atlantis is a good one. Hunchback of Notre Dame. Again, I love that one. Again, just for the music quality of it, it's the one that feels the most like a Broadway musical from word go. It's got like an overture and everything, and just from a music standpoint, it's amazing. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Hunchback of Notre Dame.
That's good.
Now, and what was the other question?
Yeah.
What do you think's the most overrated ride?
Most overrated?
It's hard.
It's very hard. Are there overrated rides?
Maelstrom was pretty That's pretty garbage. I'm not a big fan of the update to Test Track. Just because I like the old Test Track so much more. It bothers me that the new Test Track is basically just Tron, but they're not calling it Tron. It would be way cooler if they were like, look, this is a Tron right now. But it's like what if Test Track took place in Tron, I guess? I don't know. There's even like big red rectifiers in the thing. I like Tron, by the way. I'm a big fan of Tron. You can say Tron a couple times?
Tron was also a very underrated Disney movie.
Yeah, and I like the sequels. Big fan of the sequels.
Yeah, the sequels.
Great soundtrack. Yep. I guess that would be mine. I don't know. It's a small world. It's a bag of dicks.
Yeah. I mean, I've not been to Disneyland. I'm going to make that perfectly clear, but I think California Screamin's kind of overrated.
I love it.
Well, the reason why I think this is because I've been on so many roller coasters, and it has one loop, and I'm just like, yeah.
It has one loop and it has that launch.
But it does have Neil Patrick Harris. So, I mean, it is a roller coaster with Neil Patrick Harris, so I don't even know if I could say it's overrated just because of that. I guess if I had to pick one, it would be that. But I don't know if I can pick one.
No.
Except for Maelstrom.
Oh,
For
well,
the wait
Go back.
for the wait time, I'd Peter Pan too. Like,
That
Yeah, but I mean, like,
so
the
fun.
first perspective,
Yeah,
though, like,
sorry.
I don't know, I kind of have to defend Peter Pan sometimes.
It's so long.
Except for
that-
Tinkerbell, I will
And
never
like
defend
I like
Tinkerbell.
Toy Story Mania, but 120-minute wait time is bonkers. That's just bonkers
Yeah.
for anything.
those,
Oh, by the way, after I drank that day at Epcot, I moseyed my way to Hollywood Studios and did Tower of Terror and then Toy Story. I got the lowest score after 12 drinks and then shooting animated toys. But I mean, it's a good ride. It's just I don't know that for that wait time. I can't.
I can never, I'm about to get somewhat offensive and agreeing with him on the Peter Pan thing. I
didn't have
love
that
the
wait
Peter
time
Pan
around me.
ride, but every time I'm there, on a slow day, the wait time's a good hour and a half. And it just never, you have to have a fast pass to ride it, and I'm not about waiting in line for 2-3 hours.
I was gonna say, my pack for any rides ever, get a single rider's line.
Yeah.
Normally I went with a group.
I mean, I go with my family and we hop in single riders. I mean, we're all riding the ride.
Yeah.
Usually, if anything else, we would ski right next to each other, so my pack.
I go
And
single
not
rider's
single
line
rider.
because I don't have friends. Everybody's like, get the drunk guy away from us. And I'm like, rock and roller coaster! It's Aerosmith!
I mean, I honestly, like, I was having a hard time thinking of an overrated one, because, yeah, you do have to think about the lines, but, again, you're going to Disney. There's going to be lines, because everybody wants to go to Disney. I mean, look at the Super Bowl. Everybody's like, I'm going to Disneyland. And I'm going to Disney World, because they filmed 2 promos. But, like, you know,
Yeah, Disney's pretty sweet.
yeah, I mean, you're going to Disney.
I think that's where we'll leave you all. Disney's pretty sweet. Anything last to say, Danielle?
For future vacation planners, if you're trying to avoid the rides, or avoid the lines,
Don't
go in
avoid the rides.
September. It's really dead in September and then the end of
Value
January.
season.
Huh?
Value season.
Yes. Just my
Chelsea?
vacation tip.
If you have any questions about Disney bounding, I will be here all day long. Also, we are planning a Disney bound meetup in Pigeon Forge for a Dapper Day, since people normally can't get to the parks for their Dapper Days. And also, people can't normally afford to go to the parks for their Dapper Days. So we're planning one for Dollywood. So be on the lookout for that. I have a fan page on Facebook. It's under Chelsea Lyons. I also have a Tumblr page. It's kind of harder to find because the URL is Batwayne. So, and then
Again, paper and pencil.
yeah, paper pencil, take notes. And then I have an Instagram. It is Chelsapalooza, like Lollapalooza, but with Chelsea. So I'll be here all day though.
I'm Hunter Roberts.
Hunter Roberts.
I have my own website. It is hunter.youtube.com/. uppercase backslash semicolon HTTP. No, I'm a stand-up comedian by trade. That's what I do. And my album is available on iTunes and Spotify. It's called Old Man Babyface. I don't talk about Disney in the first album. The second album that's coming up, I have a bit that's dedicated wholly to Pixar movies. That turns into about a nice 6-7 minute screaming fit about Pixar movies being rude and sad. Yeah, albums on iTunes and Spotify. I also have a podcast network called the Government Podcast Network. It's on iTunes and Podbean. So you can check out that episode right here with Tiffany me, the owner and CEO of Who's It's and What's It's, the people that shirt, hat, necklace. So yeah, that's all my stuff. I'm also on Instagram. It's Hunna, Hunnaah. Yeah, we're done. I'm gonna stop talking and plugging things. Thank you all very much for coming out. We were really happy that people actually came and stayed and listened to us be stupid. And thanks for asking questions. And yeah, actually stick around for the rest of the day. We're gonna be here for a little bit longer. Just hang out in the room if you guys want to talk to us afterwards. But thank you guys very much. Enjoy the rest of your ETSU-Con.